Ron has been a first responder and in the preparedness arena for years. Ron has lived in earthquake country, where quite a few large earthquakes hit San Diego, and the state of Ron and his crews have saved many people's lives. Ron has spoken to hundreds of community groups, helped organize preparedness fairs where he has lived. Ron has met hundreds of people and he valued in those communities and continued to work and lecture people on the complex work of emergency/disaster preparedness and emergency management. Ron have spent 24 years in law enforcement and have an extensive background in law enforcement and tactics. His career was spent in homicide, traffic accident investigation, weapons and tactics, and personal/executive protection and emergency management. Ron Tyler has been a missionary for his church and is now a gospel doctrine instructor. If you would like to support our program and what we are doing, you may make donations to paypal.me/emrmtsak591, paypal.me/rltnspd@hotmail.com, Venmo @RonaldTyler17.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. My name is Ron Tyler. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. This is an urgent program. I'm warning everybody now, this is an urgent program. There has been a major earthquake. There has been a major earthquake in the Caribbean Ocean, the Caribbean Sea. I'm going to show you the USGS map in just a second. Let me get off my webcam here and I'll show you what's going on. See that great big huge red dot here? Guess what? That's an earthquake. That is a major earthquake in the Caribbean Sea. Okay? Let's zoom in here. This is just southwest of the Cayman Islands. It's southwest of the Cayman Islands. Look where this earthquake happened. It's right smack dab on the Cayman Ridge. The Cayman Ridge comes out of Guatemala right here. Right smack dab on the Caribbean Sea there in the Cayman Ridge area. Now I'm going to post, in just a second, I'm going to post and show you that there's a tsunami warning out for the entire Caribbean. For the entire Caribbean, all the way out to Puerto Rico. Okay? Now, I'm warning you all. I'm warning everybody. This tsunami will happen. This tsunami will happen. If you are anywhere in Mexico, or Central America, you need to be advised of what's going on. Okay? This tsunami will reach probably up into the Gulf of Mexico as well. Okay? All over Central America here and even northern South America. Okay? The Cayman Islands is especially right here in danger, as well as Jamaica further south here. Okay, the island of Jamaica right there. Okay? Everybody is in danger here. I'm just going to tell you right now, this is Jamaica right here. This area is in danger, folks. Cuba. Cuba is also going to be in danger here. The west coast of Cuba and southern Cuba here, including the U.S. Guantanamo Bay down here. Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and also over here in Puerto Rico. This whole area is in danger right now. This is a warning. This is a warning. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you this. Someone just asked, what about Florida? Florida could also get hit as well. Look where this earthquake is. Yes, Cuba stands beyond or between Florida and this earthquake. However, if this if this tsunami reaches past Cuba, out into the Gulf of Mexico, I'm going to tell you right now, Florida may also be in danger. Okay? Again, a major earthquake has happened over here on the Cayman Ridge, just southwest of the Cayman Islands here. Okay? A major earthquake, an 8.0. Now be advised, the United States Geological Survey just a few moments ago downgraded this to a 6.7. From an 8.0 to a 6.7. It has since been upgraded again to a 7.6. Came out as an 8.0, downgraded to a 6.7, and then upgraded again to a 7.6. That is a full magnitude, almost a full magnitude and a half, downgrade, and then an upgrade, a full magnitude. This is a dangerous time, guys. This is a very dangerous time. Again, a major 8.0 earthquake has happened down here in the Caribbean Sea. Okay? It happened just about 10 minutes ago. Okay? Now, let me take this map down momentarily. I want to show you what is going on here. Let's bring up my webcam again. Let's play this earthquake map right now. And I'm going to show you the tsunami warning that has been issued. Give me just a second. Just a second, folks. Give me a second. I have to go over here and expand this warning so you can read it. Okay? Give me a second here. Okay? This is what you see right here. Let me expand it out again. I want to show you what's going on. Okay? Dadgum, stupid doggone thing. You can see the magnitude of this earthquake. They downgraded that earthquake from an 8.0 to a 6.7. Then they upgraded it again to a 7.6. And here it shows a 7.5. Okay? Now, it says up here at the top, to protect human life, safety, and property, action should be taken immediately. Okay? The generation of tsunami waves has not yet been confirmed. Yet. Again, the generation of tsunami waves has not been confirmed yet. However, the first wave will probably not be the largest, biggest wave. There'll be multiple tsunami waves. There's going to be multiple tsunami waves. Monitoring is underway to further evaluate the tsunami wave here. Summary of the earthquake parameters. The following parameters are based on a preliminary rapid assessment of this earthquake, and changes may occur. Again, they downgraded this from an 8.0 to a 6.7, and now here it shows a 7.5, which is still a major earthquake. Anything over a 6.5 can generate a tsunami wave. In this case, the origin time, 7:23 p.m. Alaska Standard Time. I don't know why they have it here. It's about 6:43 p.m. Eastern Time here. Coordinates 17.8 north, 82.5 west. 17.8 north, 82.5 west. Okay, depth. This is a very shallow earthquake. 20 miles deep, 33 kilometers deep, north of Honduras. Appropriate actions, recommended actions. Actions recommended required to protect life, human life, safety, and protect property. And this was going to be varying within the tsunami advisory area. Persons located in or near the ocean should move out away from the water, off the beach and away from harbors, away from marinas, away from buoys and inlets. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. Again, I'm going to warn everybody. Do not go to the shore to watch the tsunami. Stay away from the water. Persons located in or near the ocean should move out of the area, away from the water, off the beach, away from harbors, away from marinas, and away from inlets and buoys. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. Do not return to evacuated areas until the all clear is given by local authorities. This is an alert, and to follow instructions from local emergency management officials in your area, because they may have more detailed information than we do here. Again, this is a tsunami alert. You need to follow instructions from local emergency management officials, because those officials may have more detailed information about this tsunami and what's happening from your location. Okay? Where did it happen? Where time and conditions permit, move your boats out to sea. Move your boats out to sea to a depth of at least 450 feet. If at sea, avoid entering shallow water, harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets to avoid floating with emerging debris and strong currents. Stay out to sea in at least 450 feet of water, away from harbors, marinas, shallow water, bays, and inlets to avoid floating in and amongst submerged debris and strong currents. Okay? Now, estimated time of arrival, ETA. Estimated time of arrival, ETA, of the initial tsunami wave is given below. You need to observe arrival times, and arrival times may be different from the ETAs. And the initial wave may not be the largest. Okay? Observe arrival times, and arrival times may be different depending on where you're at. And the first wave may not be the largest. Forecast tsunami heights and durations are not yet available. Tsunami is a series of waves, and duration of each wave may be at least 5 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, let me repeat that again. The tsunami is a series of waves, not just one wave, a series of waves. And the duration of each wave may be varying anywhere from 5 minutes to 1 hour apart. Now I'm going to give you the information right here. Puerto Rico, Aguadilla, 8:48 p.m. Mona Island, over on the west side of Puerto Rico, 8:50 or 9:50. Arecibo, 9:51. Mayaguez, 8:52. San Juan, Puerto Rico, 9:53. Mayaguez Island, 9:55. Gallardo, 9:55. Punuelas. Can't pronounce my Spanish very well. Punuelas, 9:55 p.m. Ponce, on the south side of the island, 9:57 p.m. tonight. Calle de Muertos, 9:59. Yabucoa, 10:08 p.m. Vieques Island on the northeast side of the island. Vieques Island, 10:34 p.m. Culebra, also on the northeast side of Puerto Rico, 10:52 p.m. Christianstad, 10:14 p.m. Lime Tree, 10:17. Limeshore Bay, 11:01. Charlotte Amalie, over on the east side of Puerto Rico, over near the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, 11:04 p.m. Anegada, 10:21 p.m. Virgin Gorda, 10:54 p.m. Roadtown, 11 p.m. Locations of tsunami activity. Observations of tsunami activity are not yet available. This is too early. This is way too early. As Heather is saying in the chat, this was at least an 8.0, regardless of what USGS says. USGS is lying to us. They downgraded this quake to a 6.7, a full magnitude and a half short of where it should have been. Full magnitude and a half short of where it should have been. Okay? Impacts. These impacts of tsunami waves may vary from different locations around Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Okay? Impacts may vary at different locations depending on where you're at, either in the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, or over in the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, or the Virgin Islands. Okay? Depending on where you're at. Level fluctuations of the tsunami. They're going to be generally less than 3 feet and below the tide level. Those level fluctuations of the ocean are generally going to be less than 3 feet and below the tide level. Currents. Stay away from the water. Any waves and currents can take you out and drown you or injure people in the water. Stay out of the water. If you're in the water, get out. If you or your family members are at the water, get them out now. Immediately. I'm talking immediately. Brokefish N is saying it's 7.6 magnitude. I understand that's what USGS downgraded it to. That's what the Tsunami Warning Center has as well. However, I do not, as I said before, I repeat, I do not trust USGS at all. I never will. Waves and currents on beaches or in harbors, marinas, inlets may be especially dangerous. Again, I'm going to repeat that. Waves and currents on beaches, in harbors, marinas, or inlets may be especially dangerous. If you're over near a seawall, get away. If you're over near a seawall, get out of there right now. Update and additional information. The next message will be issued in 30 minutes, or as soon as the situation warrants. Further information about this event and any tsunami threat of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands may be found on the internet at www.tsunami.gov. www.tsunami.gov. Okay? Again, if you are over in the Cayman Islands, if you're over in Jamaica, if you're over at Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico, or the U.S. Virgin Islands, or even Florida, I'm telling you right now, you better be prepared for a tsunami. You better be prepared for a tsunami, guys. I'm telling you right now. Does anybody have any questions for me? I've given you the information. I've shown you the tsunami warning as it exists right now. Leland says, I heard about the quake, came looking for you, Ron. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. Okay? Michael King is asking, is it going to affect the Gulf Coast? I'm saying it is possibly going to affect the Gulf Coast. It is possibly going to affect the Gulf Coast. Okay? I'm warning everybody. Okay? South Florida especially. Michael Kearney says, South Florida question mark? Yes. I'm asking all of you to be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Now I Am Become Death is saying 3-foot tsunami sounds too low. Now you misread that. Okay? The water level being as it is 3 feet high right now. The water level 3 feet high or low tide levels doesn't mean the tsunami. The tsunami can be anywhere from 1.5 feet all the way up to 10 feet. 1.5 feet to 10 feet high. I'm warning everybody right now. Okay? Please, if you are in Florida, if you are in Mississippi, Alabama, the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, Arkansas area, well, Arkansas is far enough inland, it's not going to be bothered, but Louisiana and Texas and over into Mexico, you need to be very much aware that we've had a major earthquake. And that tidal wave, it's not a tidal wave, that tsunami wave could be very harmful. Now, I just checked a few minutes ago. I do not see any tsunami waves bobbing around. I do not see any tsunami waves anywhere by any means. Anywhere at all. Okay, let me go check again. I absolutely do not see any any buoys, tsunami buoys bobbing around anywhere around the Yucatan Peninsula, down in the Nicaragua Rise, just south of the Cayman Ridge, where this earthquake hit. That tsunami buoy near the Nicaragua Rise, where this tsunami hit is going on, is not there. Okay, let me bring up the Tsunami Buoy Center here, so you can see what I'm seeing. This is the National Data Buoy Center. Okay? Now we have a buoy in action right here. Right there. Okay. You see where it says Yucatan Shelf there? The Mexico Basin here? This earthquake came out from over here off the Cayman Ridge over near Guatemala. Okay? Over here to the west. Okay? It doesn't show here. The earthquake fault does not show here. The Cayman Ridge does not show here, but it came out of here from Guatemala. Where you see that tsunami buoy closer to the Mexican basin there, it's not going off. I believe it should be. I believe it should be. Those red buoys are inactive buoys. The red buoys are inactive buoys, so they're not going to show anything. The yellow buoys are still active buoys. Okay? Rebecca the Explorer says the Gulf of Mexico is moving. I believe it is. Okay? Michael Kearney says, how quick is this data? This is about as accurate data as you can get right now. This is about as accurate data as you can see here. Now, the Gulf of Mexico, earlier this week, was named the Gulf of America by President Trump. Okay? So that buoy going on, that means there is a tsunami. That buoy picked up the rise of water. The rise and fall of water. There's a rise and fall of water right there. You can see it there on the map. Okay. Mickey B's Brew House is asking, how bad is it going to be for the Cayman Islands? I'm going to be very honest with you. I honestly do not know, but I do not think it's going to be any good at all. Okay? The Cayman Islands and Jamaica are very close to this earthquake. The Cayman Islands and Jamaica are very close to this earthquake. Okay? They're probably the most dangerous areas to be in right now. And again, I'm going to tell everyone, I'm going to be very honest and poignant here. If you're anywhere near a buoy, anywhere near the shoreline, anywhere near a marina or harbor or an inlet, on a seawall, get out of there. And get out of there now. If you have family members or friends near a seawall or a buoy, inlets, marinas, or harbors, get them out of there right now. Get them out of there right now. Okay? I'm warning everybody right now. Hurricane Heather says the British use Virgin Islands. Yes, absolutely. The British and U.S. Virgin Islands are also involved here. Okay? Now, I have never seen an earthquake like this here in the Cayman Ridge area. I've never ever seen this happen. Okay? We're giving you information right now. Julie's Mill lives in Belize here. Belize is going to get hit. The Yucatan Peninsula, Honduras, and Belize will get hit as well. That tsunami wave is not just traveling east, it's traveling north, it's traveling south, and it's traveling west. If you are in Mexico, you need to get your family and everybody out of the water immediately and head for high ground. If you're in Belize, Honduras, anywhere in that area, head to high ground right now. Get away from the water. Get away from the water. Please also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And when you subscribe, right next to the subscription button, you'll see a little bell icon. Click on that. That will give you an opportunity to be notified when we come on the air. Monday through Friday, we come on the air between 6 and 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday through Friday. On Sunday, we do a Sunday school class between 12 and 12:30 on Sundays. We come on the air. If there is an emergency, night, day, or any other time, we will come on the air just like we did now. On Saturdays, we try to take Saturdays off unless a major event like this has happened, and it has. Okay? Sleeping Volcano says she's busy researching. Thank you very much, Sleeping Volcano. We appreciate that. Also, if you need further information than I have, and I will update this information in approximately another 10 minutes. Okay? The Tsunami Warning Center said that they will update the information in 30 minutes. So another 10 minutes, I'll check the information and see if it has indeed been updated. A major earthquake has happened down here in the Caribbean, in the Gulf of Mexico, over here. Okay? It happened just about 6:42 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time. 5:42 p.m. Central Time. Mountain Time, 4:42 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay? This happened. Major earthquake. This will cause a tsunami. Joan Shimpa says, or asks, how far inland should we go to get to safety? I'm going to say 2 to 3 miles inland. 2 to 3 miles inland at least. If this is a 100-foot wave, that may not even be far enough. I'm asking you to go to high ground. Go to high ground. As of now, Rebecca says there are no immediate reports of major damage or casualties. Okay? Hurricane Heather says that depends on where you're at as well. Okay? That does absolutely depend on my warning to get to high ground. Depends on where you're at. Get away from the shoreline. Get away from beaches. Get away from harbors. Get away from marinas. Get away from inlets. Get away from seawalls of any kind. Okay? I'm being honest with you guys. I'm giving you the up-to-date information that I have. Okay? You need to be very cautious about what you're doing. How far inland Berlinda is asking? I'm saying to high ground. If this is a 100-foot, 150-foot tsunami, 1 or 2 miles may not be sufficient. 1 or 2 miles may not be sufficient. As we have warned with the Cascadia megathrust earthquake in the past, in the Pacific Northwest, that may go as much as 5 miles or more inland. Okay? If that 100 to 150-foot wave is as high as that, that tsunami waves will go inland quite far, possibly as far as 5 miles inland. Okay? You need to go to high ground. High ground, guys. Okay? Hurricane Heather saying still no aftershocks. Guys, let me show you something. I'm being very serious about this. You cannot trust USGS. They are not going. They absolutely will not be going by adequate data. They're not going to show it. They never do. Ryan Watterson is asking, where do you get the 100 to 100 foot wave from? I'm saying that is scientific. That is scientific. If you do the research on the tsunami waves, when you have a high enough wave like that, it could be very dangerous depending on where you live. And if the area is below sea level or at sea level, the wave could be very high. Wave could be very high by the time it hits shore. Get off the beaches now. Get off the beaches now. Okay? Now I'm going over here. It appears we have at least one aftershock. Actually, no, this is a foreshock. Let me take the National Buoy Center down here. We have one foreshock. This is a 4.3 magnitude foreshock. Dadgummit. Sorry about that, guys. This is a 4.2 foreshock. That is a 4.2 foreshock over there, closer to the Cayman Islands. Actually, it is in the Cayman Islands. That is in the Cayman Islands right there. Okay? Right next to the Cayman Islands. Now that foreshock is not going to generate any kind of tsunami wave at all. It's a moderate earthquake. USGS probably put that out as a light earthquake. Again, I'm telling you right now, light earthquakes are not that. Light earthquakes are not 4-pointers. I'm going to be honest with you. They are not 4-point earthquakes at all. I don't know why USGS says that. I don't have any idea at all why they say that. They downgraded the earthquake levels last year. Okay? 3.0 earthquakes have not changed. They're still small earthquakes. The 4-pointers, 4.0, 4.9, were moderate earthquakes from long time ago. USGS now designates them as light earthquakes. 5.0, 5.9 have been designated as moderate earthquakes. But again, I'm going to tell you, as someone who has been in a 5.6 to 5.8 earthquake, both in San Diego and also in Salt Lake City, 5-pointers are dangerous. They are large earthquakes, regardless of what USGS wants to classify them as. They do damage. They will kill people. 5.0, 5.9 earthquakes are large earthquakes. They can result in casualties, injuries, and very major property damage. I'm just telling you. Okay? Now, Sleeping Volcano said something I believe it's important right at this point in time. That's because they are DEI. What is DEI, guys? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Progressive Democrat Communist philosophy. Progressive Democrat Communist philosophy. Don't believe it. Don't believe anything they say. What they say can kill you. What they say can kill you. Again, I'm going to show this earthquake right here. Doggone it. I'm going to show you this earthquake right here. An 8.0 earthquake is hit on the Cayman Ridge, just southwest of the Cayman Islands and west of Jamaica. Just southwest of the Cayman Islands and west of Jamaica. Okay? Here they have this at 6:23 p.m. Eastern Time. 6:23 p.m. Eastern Time. Puppy Love says, I am the first to put this out. I'm glad about that. I'm actually very happy about that. Now, Charlene is saying, so the plate movement will be a shaker. Lateral movement side to side, yes, yes. A thumper up and down, yes, as well. Side to side, plate movement, guys. Side to side, plate movement like this. This is a plate. This is plate movement here in the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, or Gulf of America. This is plate movement, guys. Okay? This is definitely plate movement. It's going to result in up and down movement and side to side movement as well. The people there are going to feel that way. The people are going to see this movement side to side and up and down. It's not going to be pretty. Anybody in island areas here is going to see a lot of damage. Okay? Anyone living in this area is going to see major damage. I'm being quite honest with you. Okay? Deborah Collins is asking, wonder if Santorini is shaking. Santorini is not shaking from this, but Santorini is shaking. Santorini is shaking. There are 50 plus earthquakes there today. There are 50 plus earthquakes in Santorini today. USGS may show one. USGS may show just one. Let's go over there right now and I'll show you myself. Actually now, my information here from the EMSC, the European agency, is now showing 100 earthquakes there. Earlier they showed 50 earthquakes earlier this morning. Now they're showing 100 plus earthquakes there around the Dokanese Islands here in the Aegean Sea here. Now, why is this happening? Why are we having earthquakes here in the Aegean Sea? It's plate movement. It's plate movement. The Eurasian plate, and the African plate come into this here. The Eurasian plate and the African plate come into play here. Why? What is going on? Plate movement, guys. Major plate movement. Now, those earthquakes that have been felt in the Dokanese Islands, the largest ones have been 5.3 and 5.1 earthquakes, and even another 5.1 today. But there's major plate movement going on around this world, around the globe. And here, in this area of the Dokanese Islands that belong to Greece here, the plate movement is resulting in this. However, along with the plate movement, anytime we have major plate movement, this is going to result in volcanism going on. Magma beneath the surface. Each of those islands is a volcano. Each of those islands was born from a volcano. And I just paused there for just a minute because we just had another 4.3 in the Dokanese Islands just seconds ago. It's happening. The whole place is moving. And all of those earthquakes there in the Dokanese Islands are very shallow earthquakes. None of these are deep earthquakes. None of these are deep earthquakes. Shallow earthquakes. And I'm telling you right now, the plates are moving, and the movement of the plates is causing magma to also move. I guarantee it. Okay? Watch the volcanoes. Watch those islands. Watch those islands very closely, guys. Okay? Watch those islands very closely. Dennis, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Dennis, a lot. Please also, if you want to join this channel, just below this information I put up today, you're going to want to go to our program description right below this video. At the top of the program description, it has a link to join as a member of the EMA channel here on YouTube. join it, please. That would mean a great deal to us. Also, if you want to help support this program, give us a super chat or super thanks. You can also go in the top of the program description to our PayPal, our Venmo locations, and help support this channel there. Also, Carol and I, my wife and I, both appreciate cards and letters. Our address is there also. 104 North Green Street, Box 105, Morganton, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code is 28655. You can send us a card or a letter, or both. Okay? Send us a card and or a letter. And when you do that, you can stick a check or cash inside the letter, making sure the cash or the check are not visible from the outside. Stick it in the card or letter and send it to us. We'd love to do that. That happens all the time. Trevor Burgess is asking, what is the actual probability of a tsunami? The probability is great. The probability is great. There's already a tsunami warning. There's already a tsunami warning posted right here. Let me go back here and show it to you. Let's go back here and review the tsunami warning. Actually, no. I'm sorry, don't do that. We now have a new tsunami warning available here. Hold on a second. Give me a second to pull this information up. Okay, we have a new tsunami warning up. Hold on a second. Let me copy this for you and I'll show it to you. Just give me a second. Okay, this is it, guys. This is it. Tsunami message number 2. This just came out about 8 minutes ago. Okay? Coastal areas of Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, Jamaica, Honduras, the Cayman Islands, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and Mexico, and possibly even the Gulf of Mexico, going up to Texas, Louisiana, going east to Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. Okay? Tsunami advisory continues in effect. Government officials, media, and general public, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, and the British Virgin Islands, not U.S. British Virgin Islands, but the U.S. Virgin Islands and British Virgin Islands. Earthquake parameters have been revised. An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of a 6.6 here, or 7.6, I'm sorry, 7.6. Again, this earthquake came out as an 8.0 plus. They downgraded this earthquake. Brokefish N is saying tsunami message number 3 is out. Let me check that. Okay, we have message number 3 here. Stand by. Just give me a second. I'm still working on this. The USBS and the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration is saying this about the Gulf of Mexico and the East Coast. There is no tsunami danger for the East Coast of the United States and the Gulf of Mexico states or the eastern coast of Canada. Earthquakes of this size are known to generate tsunamis dangerous to shorelines near the source. An earthquake has occurred within the parameters listed below. 7.6 earthquake. 7.6 earthquake. They say this happened at approximately 1823, 6:23 p.m. Eastern Time here on the East Coast. Coordinates 17.8 north, 82.5 west. That has not changed. A depth of 21 miles. This is a very shallow earthquake. A very shallow earthquake. This happened 21 miles deep in the Caribbean Sea. Okay? Be aware of that. And this will be the final U.S. National Tsunami Warning Center message for this area, meaning the U.S. Gulf Coast, Florida, and the East Coast of Canada. Okay? That's the last one for that. Let's go over here, and I'm going to download the U.S. and British Virgin Islands tsunami warning. Just give me a second here. Okay. I'm going to give you the information from message number 3. Okay? Message number 3. Earthquake parameters have been advised. An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.6 has happened. It came out as an 8.0, downgraded to 6.7, and then upgraded again to 7.6. Based on all available data, there is a tsunami threat to Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands of sea level fluctuations, and strong ocean currents that could be a hazard along coasts, beaches, in harbors, and coastal waters. This also applies to Jamaica, to the Mexican Riviera. I'm talking the east coast of Mexico, the Honduras, and Belize as well. I'm also talking about not just the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, but also Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Okay? Based on all available data, there is a tsunami threat to that area. Sea level fluctuations and strong ocean currents could be a hazard along coasts, beaches, and harbors, and in coastal waters. The earliest estimated time hazardous sea level fluctuations and strong currents may begin in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands is 9:48 p.m. AST on Saturday, February 8th today. Actions to protect human life, safety, and property should be taken immediately. The generation of tsunami waves has not yet been confirmed. Monitoring is underway to further evaluate the tsunami. Recommended actions. Actions required again to protect human life, safety, and property will vary within the tsunami advisory area. Persons located in or near the ocean should move out off the water, off the beaches and away from harbors, marinas, bays and inlets, and including seawalls of any kind. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. When the tsunami happens, this is not if but when the tsunami happens, it will happen so quickly. The water will capture you and haul you out to sea and you will drown. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. Do not return to elevated areas. Do not return to elevated areas until the all clear is given by the local authorities. Be alert to any and follow instructions from local emergency management officials because they may have more detailed information for your local location. Boaters, where time and conditions permit, move your boat out to sea to a depth of at least 450 feet. Boaters, if at sea, avoid entering shallow water, harbors and marinas, bays and inlets to avoid floating into areas with submerged debris and strong currents. Forecast of tsunami activity. Estimated times of arrival, ETA of the initial tsunami waves are given below. Again, this is not just one single wave, it's more waves than that. The waves may continue for hours on end. They may be 5 minutes between waves or as much as an hour. Okay? May not see a wave but every 5 minutes to an hour. Observed arrival times may differ from these ETAs, estimated time of arrival, and the initial wave may not be the largest. The initial tsunami wave may not be the largest. Okay? Brokefish is putting up Nueva General, Cuba, 21.9 north, 82.8 west, 0313 on 29 tomorrow. Okay? Cayman Islands, 19.7 north, 79.9 West, Grand Cayman Islands, Cienfuegos, Cuba, estimated time of arrivals of the initial tsunami wave for places within the threat regions are given here. Okay? They're given here. Christian casuals here, prayers to the people in this area. Okay? If you are rude here on this channel, you will be removed and not allowed to be here. You're not allowed to be rude to myself or anybody in the chat, especially our mods. If you're rude to any of us, you will be removed permanently. That's not allowed. Catherine's World, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Okay? Now, again, a tsunami is a series of waves, not just one wave. And the duration of each wave can be 5 minutes to 1 hour apart. Let's go through this. Okay? Puerto Rico. That's farther east. Okay? These arrival times are not going to be the same times as the tsunami waves would be in the Cayman Islands, over in Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, the Dominican Republic. Okay? Agua Día in Puerto Rico, 9:48 p.m. Mona Island, 9:50 p.m. Arecibo, 9:51 p.m. Marquez, 9:52. San Juan, Puerto Rico, 9:53. Buoy Island, 9:55. Fajardo, 9:55. Bonavlis, 9:55. Ponce, 9:57 on the south part of Puerto Rico. Callao de Muertos, 9:59. Yabucoa, 10:08 p.m. Vieques Island over on the northeast side of Puerto Rico, 10:34 p.m. Culebra Island on the northeast side of Puerto Rico, 10:52 p.m. Christiansted, this is U.S. Virgin Islands, 10:14 p.m. Lime Tree, 10:17 p.m. Lameshire Bay, 11:01. Charlotte Island, 11:04. British Virgin Islands, Anegada, 10:21 p.m. Virgin Gorda, 10:54. Road Town, 11 p.m. Observations of tsunami activity. There is at present no observations of tsunami activity that are available. At the present time, there are no observations of tsunami activity available as of yet. Impacts may vary at different locations within the tsunami warning area, including Puerto Rico on the east, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico and Haiti, Cuba, Cayman Islands, or Jamaica, or the east coast of Mexico. Waves and currents can drown or injure people in the water. Sea level fluctuations are generally less than 3 feet above and below the tide level. That is normal tide level, guys. That does not say the tsunami wave. Sea level fluctuations. Normal fluctuations of sea level. Waves and currents on beaches and harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets may be especially dangerous. The hazard is forecast to begin around 9:48 p.m. on Saturday today, February 8, 2025, and it can persist for many hours or longer. This can persist for many hours or longer. Again, the preliminary earthquake parameters are this. They're saying 7.6. I'm going to tell you this. The earthquake came out as an 8.0. It may be larger than that. The earthquake came out as 8.0. They downgraded Cotton Picker to 6.7 and then upgraded to a 7.6. can't trust the USPS. I'm just telling you, you cannot trust agency. They do nothing but lie. Catherine's World says unlikely doesn't mean impossible. I agree. I totally agree. Mark Scott, under Catherine's World here in the chat, says, Mark Scott read what I just said about underwater landslides and watched the documentary about the impossibility of high waves that hit Japan. High waves hit Japan back in 2011. You remember that? That could happen here. That can happen here. Again, I'm going to tell you exactly what we've said before. Take whatever action you deem necessary to get out of the danger area. Go to high ground. Take action before reality tears its head and be organized. Take action before reality rears its head and be organized about it. Okay? The depth of this earthquake is 20 miles, a very shallow earthquake. That means this earthquake is very dangerous. It's going to result in casualties, injuries, and property damage on these islands, especially the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. I'm just telling you. Does anybody have any questions so far? Does anyone have any questions so far? I'm monitoring for a fourth message now. So far, NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, has only issued 3 messages. I shared them with you here. Do you have any questions for me? Talk with Nisha says, any warning for St. Vincent? Not yet. I've not seen any warning for St. Vincent, but if St. Vincent is anywhere near the shoreline, get to higher ground now. Texas Lady says, not good for cruise ships if they are out at sea. I agree. Cruise ships are going to bob around like a buoy. Okay? I'm glad they're at sea. All boats should be at sea in at least 450 feet of water, away from any inlets, away from harbors, away from marinas. Okay? Roguefish Inn is also showing where you can go to get message number 3 of this tsunami warning. I read you the tsunami warning. I showed it to you. Yes, I saw the Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands have the advisory. Thank you, Catherine. I just got through reading that just a minute ago. Right here. I just showed you all the advisory here. Again, the tsunami advisory continues in effect. This is the third message. Okay, I've given you the third message right here. I'm sorry, that's message number 2. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go to message number 3. That shows message number 2 too. Sorry about that, guys. . This is message number 3 here. Okay? This message is issued for information only in support of the UNESCO, IOC, Tsunami, and other coastal areas warning system for the Caribbean and the adjacent regions, and is meant for national authorities in each country of that system. The national authorities will determine the appropriateness level of alert for each country, and they may issue additional or more refined information. Preliminary magnitude of this earthquake was a 7.6. Again, this came out as an 8.0 quake. The USBS downgraded to 6.7, and then upgraded again to 7.6. That tells you you cannot trust them. You cannot trust them. Roguefish ends says there's 2 parts to tsunami warning number 3. Okay? Evaluation. An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.6, 8.0 occurred north of the Honduras at 23:23 UTC, 6:23 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States. Based on all available data, hazardous tsunami waves are forecast for some coasts. Sea level readings. Normal sea level readings are not yet available to confirm or evaluate if a tsunami wave has been generated. Data are expected within the next 30 minutes to an hour. Data should be expected within the next 30 minutes to an hour, which means about 7:15, 7:20, or 8:20. Hold on a second. Rob 52 is calling. I'm going to tell him to join us here on the air. Hey, Rob. Yes, I'm on the air right now with it. Yes, I'm on the air. I don't know. Come join us. Come join us. Thanks, brother. Love you. Bye. That's Rob 52. You're going to see him in the chat very shortly. Okay? Again, tsunami waves generated from 0.3 to 1 meter above tide level are possible for some coasts of Honduras and the Cayman Islands. Actual amplitudes at the coast may vary from forecast amplitudes due to uncertainty in the forecast. Local landscape features on the bottom of the ocean and onshore. In particular, maximum tsunami amplitudes are on atolls or small islands and at locations with fringing or barrier reefs will likely be much smaller than the forecast indicates. For all other areas covered by this message, there is no tsunami threat, although small sea level changes may occur. For all other areas covered by this message, there is no tsunami threat, although small sea level changes may occur. Recommended actions. Government agencies are responsible for threatened coastal areas, and you should take action to inform and instruct any coastal populations at any risk in accordance with their own evaluation and procedures and the threat and level threat. Excuse me. I'm going to read that again. Government agencies responsible for threatened coastal areas should take action to inform and instruct any coastal populations at risk in accordance with their own evaluation, procedures, and the level of threat. Persons located in threatened coastal areas should stay alert for information and follow any instructions from local and national authorities. Estimated times of arrival again. Estimated times of arrival ETA of the initial tsunami wave for places within the threat regions are given below. Actual times may vary, may differ, and any additional waves may not be the largest. The initial wave may not be the largest. A tsunami is a series of waves. I'm going to repeat that. A tsunami is a series of waves, not only one wave. The time between waves can be anywhere from 5 minutes to 1 hour. Cayman Islands, 9.7 north, 29.9 west, 2352. Grand Cayman Islands, 2358. Cienfuegos, Cuba, 12:11 midnight, 12:11 minutes after midnight. Santiago de Cuba, 18 minutes after 12. Puerto Cortes, Honduras, 0021 hours, 21 minutes after midnight. Trujillo, Honduras, 0040, 12:40 midnight. Santa Cruz de Sur, Cuba, 0243. Nueva Gerona, Cuba, 013 hours, 3:13 a.m. here. Potential impacts. A tsunami again is a series of waves. The time between wave crests can vary from 5 minutes to an hour. The hazard may persist for many hours or longer after the initial wave. Impacts can vary significantly from one section of coast to the next to local bathymetry and the shape and the elevation of the shoreline. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water here. Persons caught in the water of a tsunami may drown, or may be crushed by debris in the water, or be swept out to sea. The next update and additional information will be issued in 1 hour or sooner if the situation warrants. Authoritative information about the earthquake from the U.S. Geological Survey can be found on the internet at earthquake.usgs.gov. But again, they are not going to show you all the information. USGS never shows all the earthquakes or aftershocks. They're not doing it now. They're not going to ever do it. They never have. Further information about this event may be found at www.tsunami.gov. Coastal regions of the U.S. Gulf Coast, U.S. East Coast, and the maritime provinces of Canada should refer to U.S. Tsunami Warning Center messages that can be found at www.tsunami.gov. Okay? That's that. Let's go check right now. The next update is not due for at least another 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, I have another part 2 of this message. Stand by for the next message here. Let me adjust this so you can see it. Okay. This is the latest. Okay. Again, the next message we're going to see probably within the next, I want to say 20, 25 minutes. Okay? Tsunami message number 3, Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, Honolulu, Hawaii. Tsunami advisory continues in effect. Government officials, media, and the general public of Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, and British Virgin Islands here. Tsunami height and duration forecasts are now included here. Tsunami height and duration forecasts are now included. An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.6. Again, this came in as an 8.0. They downgraded to a 6.7, and they upgraded again to 7.6. This may be actually larger than they're saying. Okay? This happened north of the Honduras, northeast of the Honduras at 7:23 p.m. AST Saturday today. Based on all available data, there is a tsunami threat to Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands of sea level fluctuations and strong ocean currents that could be hazard along the coasts, beaches in their harbors and marinas, and in local coastal waters. The earliest estimated time that Honduras sea level fluctuations and strong currents may begin in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, 9:46 p.m. on Saturday, today. AST. Actions to protect human life, safety, and property should be taken immediately. Generation of tsunami waves has not yet been confirmed. Again, the generation of tsunami waves has not yet been confirmed. The tsunami forecast does not show a threat for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. However, we are still waiting for sea level data to confirm the forecast. I'm going to read that again. The tsunami forecast does not show a threat for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. However, we are still waiting for sea level data to confirm the threat. Recommended actions. Actions required to protect human life, safety, and property will vary within the tsunami advisory area. Persons located in or near the ocean should move out of the water, off the beach, away from harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. Now, I Become Death says, I get it's a warning system, but there is land that should have seen a tsunami before the Buoy event flashed. That's possible. That is possible. But again, this is a government message. This is a government message. No one yet has reported any sea level wave fluctuations. No one has reported any significant wave fluctuations at sea level. Okay? I'm just telling you. Okay, Catherine's World said Charlene Maillet was pretty sad considering the recent aviation events. Really frustrated and mad at ATC and DC, and said it's criminal not to warn that plane that a helicopter was nearby. Now, I'm going to say it again. I said this in the previous programs here this past week. The aircraft was warned. The plane was warned that the helicopter was nearby. Again, air traffic control was talking to both the helicopter and the plane. Okay? I'm telling everybody. Charlene's here in this chat too. Okay? Right now we're talking about the tsunami here. Okay? Possibly tomorrow night or on Monday we can talk about the DC and Philadelphia crashes. We can talk about the tsunami and earthquake. I guarantee you will have more information by then. Okay? Charlene is saying, are there sound communication systems on the islands? Yes, there are. There are sound communication systems. I believe there's siren systems on Jamaica and also the Cayman Islands. Okay? There are those. Okay? Okay? Broke fish in. I'm going to pull up the Buoy area in just a minute. Or Buoy information in just a minute. Okay? Again, do not go if you're in or near the shore. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. Do not return to evacuated areas until the all clear is given by local authorities. Be alert. Be alert to and follow the instructions from local emergency management because they may have more information details or specific information for your local area. Boaters, where time and conditions permit, move your boat out to sea to a depth of at least 450 feet deep. Boaters, if at sea, avoid entering shallow water, harbors, marinas, bays, inlets, or seawall areas to avoid floating in submerged debris and strong currents. Forecasts of local tsunami activity. Estimated times of arrival of the initial tsunami wave are given below. Observed arrival times may differ from these ETAs, and the initial wave may not be the largest. Again, the initial wave may not be the largest. The forecast height is this. Okay? The maximum expected water level above the tide at the coastal location. The forecast duration is the approximate expected length of time after the initial impact that the tsunami may continue to be a hazard. A tsunami is a series of waves. A tsunami wave is not just one wave, it's a series of waves. The duration of each wave can be 5 minutes long to 1 hour long. Puerto Rico, Mona Island, 9:46 p.m. Arecibo, 9:47. Mayquez, 9:48. Aguadilla, 9:49. San Juan, 9:50. Peñuelas, 9:55. Ponce on the south, 9:58. Mayquez Island, 10:04. Yabucoa, 10:05. Calle de Muertos, 10:07. Vieques Island on the northeast side of Puerto Rico, 10:27. Vallardo, 10:28. Culebra Island over on the northeast side of Puerto Rico, 10:38. Christiansted, 10:10. Over the U.S. Virgin Islands. Lime Tree, also U.S. Virgin Islands, 10:11. U.S. Virgin Islands, Lame Shore Bay, 10:47. Charlotte Amalie, U.S. Virgin Islands, 10:50. British Virgin Islands, the next three. Anegada, 10:14. Virgin Gorda, 10:36. Road Town, 11:35 p.m. tonight. Observations of tsunami activity, there are none. No observations of tsunami activity are available as of yet. Impacts. Impacts are going to vary at different locations within Puerto Rico and West Virgin Islands. Sea level fluctuations are going to be generally less than 3 feet above and below the tide level. Waves and currents can drown or injure people that are in the water. They can drown or injure people in the water with floating debris or undercurrents and drag you out to sea. Waves and currents on beaches and in harbors, marina bays, and inlets may be especially dangerous. The hazard is forecast to begin at 9:46 p.m. AST on Saturday, February 8th, 2025, and it can persist for many hours or longer. Preliminary earthquake parameters. Again, this earthquake came out as an 8.0 magnitude quake. It might be larger than that. It was downgraded by the USGS within the first 10 minutes to 6.7. Then shortly after that, it was upgraded again to 7.6. The origin time is 7:23 p.m. AST. The coordinates are at 17.8 north, 82.5 west, at a depth of 20 miles or 33 kilometers north of the Honduras. That's where the earthquake occurred. The next message will be issued in 30 minutes, which should now be approximately 10 to 15 minutes from now. Further information about this event and any tsunami threat to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands may also be found at internet www.tsunami.gov. www.tsunami.gov. Information regarding any tsunami threat to U.S. Gulf or Atlantic coast will be issued by the U.S. National Tsunami Warning Center, and can also be found on the internet at www.tsunami.gov. Okay. Authoritative information on the earthquake can also be found at USGS, U.S. Geological Survey, USGS.gov. Okay? Now I'm going to take that down. Again, we are waiting another warning threat issued by the Tsunami Warning Center, probably going to happen within the next 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to say about 10 minutes. It's already there. Okay? We do have an update for Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, give me a minute. This update by the Tsunami Warning Center is going to be shorter. It's going to be shorter. Again, this is for Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Islands. Hold on a second. Okay. I'm making this larger so all of you can see it. Okay, this is the latest from the Tsunami Warning Center. This is message number 4. Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, Honolulu, Hawaii. Tsunami advisory is now canceled. The tsunami advisory is now canceled. Government officials, media, and the general public of Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands are here. Updates on this message. The tsunami advisory is now canceled for Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, and the British Virgin Islands. U.S. Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands. An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.6, actually 8.0, downgraded to 6.7, upgraded again to 7.6 occurred north of Honduras at 7:23 p.m. AST on Saturday today. Evaluation of all available data indicate the destructive tsunami wave for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands was not generated by this earthquake. Do not return to evacuated areas until the all clear is given by local authorities. Follow instructions for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands emergency management agencies because they may have more specific information or instructions for your location. Be observant. And exercise normal caution if you are near or on the ocean. Otherwise, no further action is required. Observation of tsunami activity. The following are tsunami wave observations from coastal and or deep ocean sea level gauges at the indicated locations. The maximum tsunami height is the highest measured by so far. Is measured with respect to the tide level. Isla Muertes, 21.3 north, 86.7 west. Time of measurement, 8:52 p.m. Maximum tsunami height, 0.1 feet, 1 inch. 0.1 feet, 1 inch. Impacts. Minor sea level fluctuations may occur in some areas beginning around 9:46 p.m. on Saturday today and continue for several more hours. Again, the preliminary magnitudes for this earthquake is this. The first quake occurred at 8.8 magnitude on the Richter scale. It was an 8.0 on the Richter scale. It was downgraded to a 6.7 and then later upgraded. 10 minutes later, it was a 7.6 quake. It was a very dangerous quake, 20 miles deep, very shallow quake. It was north of Honduras here. Next update, this will be the final statement issued for this event, unless new information is received or the situation changes. Okay, there is no tsunami threat any longer to Puerto Rico or the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Okay, let me see if there's any update from the Caribbean. I do not have a fourth update for the Caribbean. I've given you the update for the Caribbean and non-U.S. areas. I've already given you that update. There is no further update on the Caribbean. Okay? And Pickering says at least someone is telling the truth about what is going on, and that is Ron. And the Tsunami people at Tsunami.gov. I hope the heck that's true. Now, I'm Become Death has said here in the chat, has there been an aftershock larger than the initial quake? And the answer is yes. There have been aftershocks in the area. Let me show you that information real quick here. Give me a second. Okay, there was one foreshock, and there have been two aftershocks. I'm going to show you that right now. This is a 4.8 foreshock. That is a 4.8 foreshock. Over here on my earthquake app, which is the EMSC application, Georgetown, Cayman Islands, 145 miles southwest of Georgetown, Cayman Islands, there's a 4.2 aftershock. 4.2 aftershock. Further out, westbound, this is 144 miles north-northeast of Barluca, Honduras. This is also a 4.8 earthquake. So far we have two reported aftershocks and one foreshock. Now, I'm Become Death is asking this, and this is a good question. Can an aftershock cause a tsunami? Not in this case. This was a very powerful earthquake. If an aftershock had been 6.5 and larger, yes, it could possibly cause a tsunami. But that is not the case here. This is not the case here. Okay? There has been no significant aftershock that would cause a tsunami. Dana Rona is saying, beginning to feel the seriousness of earthquakes globally. Near Santorini, Greece, where 700 earthquakes, magma is flowing. I agree. I've talked about this in the last couple of days. Okay? The earthquakes over in the Dokanese Islands belonging to Greece, including Santorini. That has resulted between the Eurasian plate and the African plate to the southwest. Eurasian plate to the northeast and the African plate to the southwest. Okay? Plates are moving. The plates are moving, guys. With the plates moving, we can expect magma beneath the crust. We can expect magma beneath the crust and in the crust. Okay? All the islands, again, all of the islands over in Greece, the Dokanese Islands, all the islands over there in the Dokanese Islands were caused by volcanoes. They're volcanic islands. Okay? Brokefish has given us the water column station 42409, Gulf of Mexico, south of New Orleans. I'm going to try to bring that up right now. Stand by. Go figure. At present time, we have no buoys going on. We have no active buoys going on at all. Excuse me, at all. Okay, I've got the wave height. I'm going to show you in just a minute at buoy station 42409 over there in the Gulf of Mexico / Gulf of America. Stand by for that information. Water column is still moving. There was a tsunami wave generated. There was a tsunami wave generated. Okay, I'm showing you right now the column height of buoy 42409 over there in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. Look at that. So over in the Gulf of Mexico, there is water fluctuation, water level fluctuation, and it's big. It is big. No matter what the USGS or the National Tsunami Warning Center says, there was a wave generated. Now, the wave at the shoreline may be a lot different than out here in the middle of the Gulf. Okay? The wave generated is different than out on the shoreline. The shoreline is hundreds of miles north of there. Hundreds of miles north of there. Let me show you. Give me a second. This is Buoy 42409. Now, it's not presently going off. This is an old map. Just a second. Let me take this down and regenerate it. Hold on. You're not seeing that here. Yes, we are too. I'm sorry. I didn't see it on my computer initially, but we're seeing it right here. There it is right there. Now, I Become Death is saying, well, the strongest in 120 years. That's right. This is the strongest earthquake in this area in 120 years. Dina Rona here in the chat is saying, Catherine's World Wildlife Tracking. That is correct. One of the most devastating and imagined islands sinking. Can you imagine an island sinking? Yes, that's possible. That is very possible. Why? Why would an island sink? The plate is moving. We have a plate moving. An island could sink. If there's plate movement, an island could sink. Catherine's World says, well, I think that a 9.0, but it was on land, that huge devastating one, about 2012. Yeah, possibly. I Become Death says, how high does a wave need to be to trigger that buoy? Any kind of wave height could trigger this buoy. Any kind of wave height could trigger this buoy. What you're seeing is a good trigger here. This was a major earthquake. By any stretch of the imagination, this was a major earthquake, regardless of what USGS is saying. Okay? They're calling this now a 7.6, which is a major earthquake. Anything above a 7.0 to 10 is a major earthquake. This was a major earthquake. Okay? Yes, this does measure height weight or wave height. You can see that here on this graph. You see that here on this graph. This is measuring wave height. Yes, Norma, we understand already that the Lord has been warning us. Absolutely. Absolutely. This was going to happen. We know that. Rebecca the Explorer said on April 11th, 2012, 2 undersea earthquakes struck near Aceh, Indonesia. Earthquakes were 8.6 and 8.2 magnitude, and they were the largest strike-slip earthquakes ever recorded. An 8.6 and 8.2 magnitude. Unreal. Aceh, Indonesia. If you remember, that was near, what was it called? Aveyah, Indonesia. It took out a bunch of tourist hotels, killed a bunch of people, swept people out to sea. Dina Rowan is asking, how do they downgrade the earthquakes? Is it legit? No. In my opinion, especially this, what USGS done was criminal. What USGS did here is criminal. Okay? I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen many times before. USGS is downgrade quakes all the time. Literally all the time. Now, I'm going to go over just for kicks and giggles to the USGS map. Okay? I'm going to pull up this earthquake. Then I'm going to go to the back seismologist study page. Okay? Back seismology study page says this is a 7.6 earthquake, 209 kilometers southwest of Georgetown, Cayman Islands. We already knew that. Okay? On the back seismologist study page over on the left-hand side, you go down until you see origins. Click on origin. Once you have the website of origin here, you'll still say 7.6 quake. You go down and click on magnitude. Click on magnitude here. Okay? The magnitudes will come up here. Okay? Now, they said that this was a 7.6 earthquake. In a minute, I'm going to show you this information. They said this was a 7.6 earthquake. And yet, they say there's 119 stations reporting. No station details available. That is criminal. They do this all the time. Okay? They came out with this as an 8.0. They downgraded it to a 6.7. Then they upgraded again to 7.6. And on their own information, they're showing 119 stations reporting that earthquake, but no station details reported. Why not? Why not? Those seismographs on the ocean floor in the Honduras, over in Belize, over in Mexico, in Texas, and other places, those seismographs are recording information. And yet, they said there's no station details contributed. I want to know why. I want to know why. The 6.7 earthquake. Remember they said the 6.7 earthquake? They downgraded to a 6.7. They're showing 387 stations reporting. 387 stations reporting the 6.7. That way they want people to believe something else. They want people to believe lies. Well, right now I'm clicking on the station details. I'll show you this graph in a minute. Okay? I'm going to report this. Okay? The first seismograph here on the details is showing a 7.26 quake. 7.26 magnitude. The next 6.54. The next 6.98. The next 6.6. 7.03. 6.7. 7.16. 7.02, 7.08, 6.55, 6.75, 6.8, 6.7, 6.58, 7.24, 6.62, 7.14, 6.72, 6.17, 6.34, 6.87, 6.93, 6.24, 6.65, 6.3, 6.1, 6.6, 6.48, 6.64, 6.16, 6.58, 6.57, 6.49, 6.88, 6.96, 6.33, 6.68, 6.99, 6.07, 6.91, 6.52, 6.64, and on and on. Okay? I'm not going to give you all the station details here, showing you each magnitude reported by the seismograph. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is copy, screenshot this information so I can show it to you. Hold on. I'm going to show you a handful of station details. I just got through reading you a series of information showing you the seismograph readings at different areas. Okay? Give me a second. And this is exactly straight from the USGS site. And this is typically what we see with every earthquake. Okay? This is nothing new. We've enlarged it so you can see it. Okay? Again, this was at least an 8.0 earthquake. Okay? They downgraded this to a 6.7, upgraded again to 7.6, 209 kilometers southwest, south-southwest of Georgetown, Cayman Islands. Okay? Again, magnitude 7.6 here, and they downgraded to 6. Or actually came out as an 8.0. They downgraded to 6.7, then upgraded again to 7.6. Look at this. Okay? 7.6 earthquake right there. 119 station reporting. No station details contributed. They do not want us to see the information. This is what they do. They hide the data. They hide the data. Okay? Then I go, as I often do, to the other stations reporting. Again, they first downgraded to 6.7, and you can see the information right there. 6.7 here. Okay? Right there. They downgraded to a 6.7 with 387 stations reporting. If they downgraded it, why again did they upgrade it to a 7.6? Let's look at some of the data information. Okay? Over on the left-hand side, the channel is a seismograph here. SC121A-BHZ. That is a seismograph. Type MB, magnitude. Amplitude is right there. Further to the right, the period is 2.00A. Or S, I'm sorry. 2.00S. Status automatic. The seismograph reports the information automatically. In this case, this particular seismograph reported as a 7.26. The next was a 6.54. The next was a 6.98. 7.0. 6.66, 7.03, 6.78, 7.16, 7.02, 7.08, 6.55, 6.75, and 6.88, and on and on. 600 plus stations reporting. And if I went all through all the stations and counted them, there probably would be close to 700 stations reporting. Their accuracy is terrible. Their accuracy is terrible. Okay? When they say here that there are 387 stations reporting, there's far more than that. Probably close to 500 stations reporting. Okay? That's the truth. I just got to show it to you. Okay? It's incredible what they get away with. It's very incredible what they get away with. Dennis N. says, uncompromised one. I think you're right. Uncompromised one says earthquakes are only going to increase numbers and size. I absolutely think you're right. You're absolutely right. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. Now, as my buddy Don Patoka, who's a mod on our channel, please avoid using all capital letters. Do not do it. YouTube looks at that and says you're yelling. YouTube looks at using all capital letters as you're yelling. Don't do it. If there's a YouTube moderator here, and yes, they do have YouTube moderators. We've seen them on this channel before years ago. They've removed people from the chat and they ban them. They ban them from YouTube. They ban them from us as well. Don't do it. Don't do it. You can use one capital letter at the beginning of a sentence and that's all. Okay? Semi Priestwood says, I just watched the live cam from Orange Beach, Alabama, and there was nothing unusual there. That's what they said. That's what the U.S. Buoy Center said, and that's what the tsunami warning said as well. That the coastlines of the Gulf were nothing unusual happening. If there's anything happen, it might be one inch above normal. Now, guys, if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have right now. I've been trying to keep up with the chat and answer questions as I've seen them. Okay? Uncompromised one says, Dennis, it's what I read from a manuscript that has a lot of science in it. This manuscript is very, very old. Uru86 is saying, why do you think they're hiding the information? I've explained this before and I'm going to explain it again right now. Why are they hiding it? Because, folks, they don't want anybody to see it. Why? Because, folks, the politicians are telling the USBS to hide the information. The politicians are the ones that are telling USBS management to hide the information. This is not the everyday person that works at the United States Geological Survey. This is management. The politicians are telling management not to put out real information. Why? Because, folks, if the earthquake happens, people are going to die. People are going to get killed. People are going to get injured. Property is going to be annihilated. They don't want the general public to know it. They don't want the people to know what's going on. Okay? If they do, what will happen? If the United States Geological Survey puts out any information now about any quake, the public's going to get agitated. They're going to see it and they're going to move away from the shoreline. They're going to move far away from the shoreline. Why? Because they know a larger earthquake is going to happen. They don't want to be there to see their lives or their families' lives get decimated. They're going to move away from there. What happens when that happens? There's nobody paying taxes. What happens? If there's nobody there spending money, what happens? The stores and the shops will also go out of business. The restaurants will go out of business. Everything's going to go out of business. If there's nobody there paying taxes, the politicians are also not going to be there. Government's not going to be there. Who's going to turn on the stoplights? Who's going to service the roadways? Who's going to make sure the town operates? Nobody. Because nobody's paying taxes any longer. That's why the politicians are telling the United States Geological Survey not to talk about it. They don't want anybody to know exactly what is going on. I promise you that's what's going on. Okay? The politicians are behind it all. The politicians want to stay in office as long as they possibly can. Okay? Dennis N. says, I think it's connected to solar flares, and I believe the Bible, and am interested in times of tribulation and revelation. I agree. I'm in total agreement, Dennis. I believe the Bible. I believe Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. Our Heavenly Father knows what's going on and is in control of it. Now I'm become death is saying, or asking, is there any data on foreshocks and predicting earthquakes? Folks, there is. But again, USGS is telling everybody, and you can find this information on their own website. They are saying you can't forecast earthquakes. USBS is telling everyone you cannot forecast or predict a quake. You can. All you have to do is follow the information. Follow the information religiously as I do. Okay? I follow it every day, almost every hour. I follow the information almost every hour at different times. Okay? You can see magnitudes rise. You can see magnitudes rise. You can see the frequency of earthquakes rise as well. And when you see the progression of quakes also go up, guess what happens? Then you know that a larger earthquake is incoming. I'm going to give a good example of this. Down in southern Mexico several years ago, there was a 7.6 magnitude quake. I don't remember the exact year, but there was a 7.6 magnitude quake in southern Mexico. Now, because of the data that I had, I said the next day that there was going to be a 7.0 earthquake in Southern California. And there was. There was, over in the Mojave Desert. I forecast that quake and I was spot on. Those of you that have been here saw that happen. And you know that what I said is true. Earthquake forecasting can be done, and it can be done fairly accurately. Now, all the time, if you look at any forecast that I've ever made, yes, I've been wrong. But I haven't been wrong all that much. Yes, you can be wrong, but you can also be right. And that one time says it all. I said there was a 7.0 magnitude quake coming to California, and the next day it happened. I said it was going to happen the next day, and that's exactly what happened. Uncompromised one, I enjoy you loving this channel. Please, if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And again, I'm going to say this again. Right next to the subscription button, there's a little bell icon. Click on that little bell. When you click on that, 3 items will come up in the drop-down menu. Click on the word ALL. That should get you subscribed to our channel. But beware, YouTube does not always notify everybody. Okay? You also, all of you that are here, if you are subscribed, please make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube continually unsubscribes people. YouTube continually unsubscribes people. So make sure your subscription is active. If it's not, please resubscribe immediately, and then click on that bell icon and click on that word ALL. Also, before you leave today, please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this broadcast and enjoyed the information that I've given you. We're here to help you. We're here to give you as much emergency information as we possibly can. Why? Because our entire philosophy here is to give you the information that a disaster or an emergency is going to occur or has occurred. That way you can make plans. You can make plans to help yourselves, to protect your life and property and the life of your family. That's why Emergency Management Associates is here, to protect all of you. Okay? Anna Michigan says, thank you for bringing us the info. I appreciate that. Again, those of you that are here for the first time, please subscribe to our channel. Again, we come on the air every day between 6 and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, we try to take the day off unless there's something major that happened. And I knew this was a major event. An 8.0 earthquake is a major event. We've seen them happen in other locations around this globe. We had one down in the Antarctic region about 4 years ago, and USGS denied it happened. Then a couple months later, the Air Force sent up a plane above Antarctica, and they saw a great big, huge, long fissure that opened up in the ice. 14-mile long fissure with a 9.0 earthquake. About 4 years ago, a 9.0 earthquake hit Antarctica. We saw it come out, and then the USGS denied it. They took it down. They took the 9.0 earthquake down. That's what kind of agency we have here in the United States. The United States agency is supposed to be the preeminent agency in the world. Yet our own agency lies to the public. They lie to the public. It's sad. It's very sad. They lie and deceive the public continually because they don't want anybody to know the information. When that earthquake happened 2 years ago, February 3rd, in the border region between Turkey and Syria, that earthquake was a 9 to 10.0 earthquake. It killed over 5,000 people and injured over 5,000 more. Major damage all over the area. Yet, they downgraded that to a 7.6. They downgraded that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake to a 7.6. That earthquake also created a fissure in the earth 14 miles long and 8-story building deep. That fissure could have fit an 8-story deep earthquake. An 8-story building down inside the fissure. It happens. And yet, the United States Geological Survey denies everything. And they don't report everything truthfully as well. As my buddy Don Patoka said here in the chat, knowledge is strength. Applied knowledge is life-saving. Fear doesn't stop death. It stops life. In order to prevail, yet succeed, and not be scared in life's trials, be aware and be prepared. Be aware and be prepared. I don't know how many times I say that. And Don's put that up here in the chat before. Okay? Heidi Petrick is reporting a 2.33 magnitude minor earthquake in Falls City, Washington. Falls City, Washington. Earthquakes are happening there every day. Every day. And yes, we are forecasting a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake to happen in the Cascadia area sometime within the next 5 years. Scientists are saying 25 to 50 years. I'm saying 5 years. Why? Because all the data up and down the coast and the seismic data at the volcanoes are saying increase in seismic awareness, increase in seismic activity. all over the place. And the strength of the earthquakes is also increasing. The numbers and strength of the earthquake are increasing at the volcanoes and along the coastline. Okay? You can't trust the agency. You cannot trust the agency at all. Rebecca the Explorer just put up our PayPal and Venmo location. Okay? We have 2 PayPal locations. Okay? PayPal me /emergency-M. PayPal me at hotmail.com. We also have a Venmo location. Find me. We're there. Okay? Find me. We're there. You can also send us a donation wrapped in a letter or in a card. Send it to our post office box at 104 North Green Street. Box 105, Morganton, North Carolina, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. We appreciate that very much. Rob52 put it up. Emergency Management Associates 591, paypal.me, rltnspd at hotmail.com. Venmo is at Ronald Tyler -17. We appreciate any and all support that you give us. Okay? It helps keep this program on the air. And occasionally when there are problems, we need that money. And we put it aside. We handle it very sacredly. We put it aside for times where we need it. Sometimes we need even more money. Okay? Costs continue to go up. I'm presently paying $253 a month for internet. Little over a gig of bandwidth. $253 a month. Unreal. Unreal. And it keeps going up. It keeps going up. During the past year, I think we've had 3 increases in bandwidth. I shouldn't say increases in bandwidth, but increase in cost and bandwidth. They get away with it because they know they can. And also, Rebecca the Explorer says you can become a member of this channel. Down beneath this video today, in the top of our program description, at the very top, you have a link to join this channel as a member. Down below that, you have our email address, rltnspdema at gmail.com. Down below that are addresses to our PayPal locations and our Venmo location. Okay? It also has our address here where you can write us letters and write or send us cards. Okay? Like I said, in the middle of the cards and letters, you can send us donations to our channel. We greatly appreciate it. That happens all the time. Dr. Jamin's Place is asking, did I invest in a new laptop? No, not yet. I want to collect the money so I can do that. I want a brand new laptop this next time. This is an older laptop. In fact, as of October this year, Microsoft no longer will give us updates. And I don't even like Microsoft updates as well. The last update happened just before our data went down. Okay? We had laptop problems right after a Microsoft update. I got a guy, his name is Kerry Holtzman. Kerry Holtzman's here on YouTube. You can find him. He's an internet genius when it comes to computers. Kerry Holtzman here on YouTube. If you have problems with your laptop or your stand-up hard drive, stand-up computer, get on that channel and watch him explain what he does when he takes apart a computer and redoes it. He also builds brand new software and hardware, I should say. Okay? Okay? Rebecca the Explorer says, George Rashad, my buddy from California, is asking, what do I think of the eastern side of Africa and the separation from the mainland. Let's go over there and take a look at it. Okay? I definitely have an opinion on that. Let's go over and take a look at it. I'm going to take our webcam down. I'm going to put up the USGS map here for just a few minutes, and we'll be right back. Okay? I got up the USGS map here. Let's go take a look at Africa here. Okay? Now see here, right in this area here. There's a huge rift zone here. Okay? This is Ethiopia. We've had some large and very strong 5.0 to 5.9 and 6.0 to 6.5 earthquakes here in this rift zone here in Ethiopia. These earthquakes have been happening almost every day here for the past 3 to 4 weeks. Why is this happening? This whole rift zone that you see here, that I pictured on your screen here, this rift zone is separating. It's getting wider and wider and wider. And at some point in time, that water here, this water here from this gulf, is going to drain into this area as the earthquakes happen. Now, I believe we're going to have a very major earthquake that's going to happen here. It's going to take a very, very strong earthquake here. And I'm talking at least an 8.0 to a 10.0 earthquake to happen and make this rift zone separate to allow water in this area. And yet it's going to happen. It's going to happen and separate Eastern Africa from the main part of Africa here. This whole rift zone here. But down here also, something else you need to know, right down here. We have volcanoes. Yes, guys, we have volcanoes here as well. And yes, those volcanoes are active. And yes, they are showing signs of a possible eruption in the future. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, guys. You can guarantee it. This Gulf of Oman is going to happen. The Gulf of Oman here is going to pour into this rift zone after that major earthquake happens. My buddy Rob52 just gave us a super chat, a $20 super chat. Rob, God bless you for that. Thank you very much. I'm giving you an EMA sticker on your super chat, and I'm also giving you a thumbs up. Thank you so much. You already got 6 thumbs up. God bless you, Rob. If you guys don't already know, Rob52 is a member here on the channel. He's a moderator on this channel. He's one of my dearest friends. God bless you, Rob. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's the way you support us, either on Super Chat, Super Thanks, or over on our PayPal or Venmo location, or sending us money, donations to our address. Again, 104 North Green Street, Box 105, Morganton, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. Yes, you can send us cards and letters. On your letters or cards, we would love to know what you're doing to prepare for emergencies and disasters in the areas in which you live. My wife and I would greatly appreciate that information. That way, my wife and I will know that what you're doing is getting ready to protect yourself and your families. That's what's important here. Protecting your lives and your family's lives. Any more questions? Any more questions here? I want to thank you all for helping us with this chat here. I want to thank all of you for sending this information that we followed up on and share with everyone here. That's what we do here on Emergency Management Associates. We share information here to you, and you guys also share information with us. We do this every day, 5 days a week, every day. I want to thank all of you for being here. Folks, if this hadn't been an emergency, I would have a devotional ready for you right now. Now, I am going to open up my scriptures as I've been known to do. And I find many scriptures I've already marked previously to share with you. And that's happened again today. Now, over in Colossians in the New Testament, starting with verse 17. Whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord, in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him. Do everything you do in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay? You will be blessed. You'll be blessed. I guarantee it. I love the Savior. I have a testimony of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I know it's true. I've been a missionary for my church. I've been teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ for years and years, before my mission and since. Some people say I've never come home from my mission in Sweden. I served a mission in Sweden. Some people think I've never come home because I continually preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's because I love the Lord. It's because I love the Lord. Sheila says the Cayman Island fault line. Exactly. It's called the Cayman Ridge. That's where this earthquake happened. It's on the Cayman Ridge today. I thank you for all being here. We will be back here tomorrow after 12 noon, between 12 and 12:30, with a Sunday school class we call Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. We appreciate you being here. Please join us, if you will, for our Sunday school class. We're here every Sunday, except, well, actually, we are here every Sunday. I don't think I missed but 2 Sundays in the last 6 years. April 3rd, we will be 6 years since I've been on the air here on YouTube. God be with you until we meet again. Please like and subscribe to this program if you can. We appreciate it. No Lamb is light, there is no tsunami now. There was a forecasted tsunami, but there is no tsunami here at all. Thank you all for being here. Lamb is light. Go and look at the beginning of our program. We talk about and share the information there with you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. God bless. We'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. See you later.